Hey, psst, come here. You see this little thing? It's gonna change your life. Okay, maybe that's a little too dramatic, but this is the HiBY W32, and this is a Bluetooth DAC amp that has features like high-res codecs, a long-lasting battery life, inline controls for the microphone and your, I guess, music play button as well, and a freaking shirt clip. And this is genuinely one of the best devices I've owned in terms of mixing practicality and sound quality. And if you care about audio and convenience, this is probably the best device you could get for the price. But what is it exactly that makes the W32 so good? Let's talk about it in today's review of the HiBY W32. Before we start, I would just like to thank HiBY for sending over the W32 in exchange for my honest opinions. I was not told to say anything about this product. This is all my honest thoughts and opinions. But first, let's have a little overview for the W32. This is the second iteration of the W3 series. This is $49 and runs a dual CS43131 with NFC and a bunch of high-res codecs that we will be talking about more very soon. But this is a $49 Bluetooth DAC amp device for your liking. So let's talk more about it, starting with the unboxing experience. Now, for the unboxing experience, it's a pretty simple small box with it's like a little cool brown little box with like some graffiti designs, which akin to the motif that the W32 has, which we're going to be taking a look at very soon. It comes with a DAC, it comes with an instructional manual, and it comes with the data or the charging cable. Now let's talk about its physical attributes. So first and foremost, the thing you're probably going to see first is that, well, it got a pretty cool design. Yeah. Unlike any other DACs that we have right now, or at least the Bluetooth DACs, this has a very unique graffiti-like design up front with a little like NFC logo plastered on top, because this does indeed have NFC. In terms of construction, this is plastic, so don't expect this to be like, you know, the usual metal milled stainless steel whatever kind of DAC. This is plastic for convenience and also for price. At $49 for something this jam-packed, plastic is more than enough of a I wouldn't even say it's a downgrade or a downside. It's just lightweight. It's very comfortable to clip onto your place, and it's just a very nicely built, but obviously still plastic built device. Now, for its interface, it has a 3.5mm jack right there up front with an LED indicator right beside it. It also has a shirt clip. I think I've already mentioned more of that before. And it's also using a Type-C for charging and using this as an external DAC. Yes, this can be used as an external DAC. We'll get more into that very, very soon. Now, probably the most underrated feature about this thing is definitely the shirt clip. Now, I haven't seen much DACs out there yet that has a shirt clip. I know the Kudelix Q5K has a shirt clip, but honestly, like, I didn't expect the shirt clip to be as useful as it was. This is genuinely one of the most useful things about, and I really hope more companies use shirt clips on their DACs more, because this is seriously so convenient whenever I don't want to like plug this in and put them in my pocket and potentially risk damaging something. I could just clip this into my shirt. That's it. No bueno. That's it. It's over. It's just, that's it. It's already there. Don't have to deal with it ever again. It's just clipped onto there. And it's not even like a shirt clip. I clipped this onto my bag as well, and it's just extremely convenient. I love the fact that they included a shirt clip with this thing. So in terms of usage and features, to turn on the device, you just hold the power button for 2 seconds, and it's gonna make a little yellow or green light, and then it's gonna start blinking blue to signify that it's on. Now, if you want to pair, hold the power button again for 3 seconds, and to clear pairing, you hold the the volume buttons together and wait. Now, for the LED, the signifiers mean if it's blue steady, it's already waiting for a device that's already paired. If it's blue pulsating slowly, it means that it's connected. And if it's flashing quickly, it means that it's waiting for a new pairing. Now, obviously, to pause and play, you click on the power button, just click it, short click, and then it pauses, it plays, you know, the usual stuff. For phone calls, you just tap the power button to answer and hold for 1 second to reject the call. Yes, this has calling capabilities. This indeed has a mic. So yeah, cool. And then for charging, for the LED, steady red means that it's charging complete, If it's flashing red, it means that it's low battery. And if it's flashing, or if it's pulsating quickly or slowly, it means that it's charging. Now for charging, if it's steady red, it means that it's charging complete. If it's flashing red, it means it's low battery. And if it's pulsating slowly, it means that it is charging. It's a very important distinction, as sometimes you would like really not know whichever when it's full charge, because it's just a single red. But if it's just frozen red, yeah, it means it's full. If it's pulsating red, then it's not yet full. So cool stuff. Now for playback, green means that it's sampling at 44.1 kilohertz to 48 kilohertz. If it's at white, it's decoding at 88.2 kilohertz all the way to 192 kilohertz. Yes, this can do that, and there's a feature, awesome proprietary feature that HiBY has included with the W32 that I honestly think is absolutely cool and is an essential thing, especially for something at this price. Now, I've mentioned before, this does have NFC, and it's a very simple process. Turn on the device, turn on or go to the NFC feature of your phone if your phone has an NFC. Just tap the back. Seamless connection. Genuinely, it's very easy. No, not really a lot of hitches. It's just going to connect like that. And speaking about the mic support, this can use the inline microphone of your own earphone. So if your earphone has like a built-in mic, or sorry, the cable has a mic, you can use that, or use the mic itself. And it has this cool feature called the CVC, or Clear Voice Capturing Denoising Tech. And here is a sound test of the microphone of the W32. This is the microphone of the HiBY W32. Sound check, sound check, sound test, sound test. Tell me what you think. Does it sound good? Tell me all about it. Let me know what you think, if it's acceptable, if it's not acceptable. I thought it was pretty acceptable, more than enough for what it is, and I've gone on multiple phone calls with this device, and suffice to say, I haven't had no issues with this, so pretty cool, pretty cool. This also has car mode, apparently. I don't have a car that's compatible or has a feature to be able to use the car mode, so I can't really speak much about that, but I thought it was a pretty cool feature. I don't know who would use it, but cool feature. And this is probably one of the things that I really loved about the W32 the most. It can be used as a dongle, because you know how Bluetooth devices, eventually they're just gonna die. They're going to be landfill waste. Well, not this one. This one, after you use it, or after you use up the battery, well, just turn it into a normal dongle, and that's it. Use this forever. It's actually extremely environmentally friendly and sustainable because of that. So awesome. I love that. I love that in a Bluetooth device. And probably one of the things that makes this device such a unique product is the fact that this is compatible with HiBY Blue. And if you don't know what HiBY Blue is, basically it's their kind of think of it as the specific app for the device. You know how Samsung has an app, Sony has an app. This also has its own app, and you can change basically everything that you could. So you can change the volume specifically, like fine-tune the volume. You can put equalizer settings in here. You can upgrade the firmware. You can look at the monitor for the battery, what kind of decoding you're having. Basically, everything you want to know about the device, or everything you want to like change about the device, so you can change it there. And it's a completely free application. Just get it on your phone, download the software, connect this there, and it's going to automatically figure out that, oh, you have a HiBY W32, and it's going to start monitoring all of that. And that's great. It's a good it's a great integration. It's awesome. I love it, and I've been using it ever since. It actually wasn't working when I got this thing because the app wasn't really compatible with my phone, and then after a few weeks it started to be compatible, and it was seamless ever since. So now let's talk about specifications. So first and foremost, this is running a Bluetooth 5.2 using the QCC 5125 chip. As for codecs, it has high-res wireless certifications, which means it can do LDAC, aptX, aptX HD, the usual AAC and SBC, but this also has HiBY's proprietary U18. I'm going to put a picture on the screen right now to know about it. I'm going to put a link down in the description if you want to know what U18 is. But basically, this allows you to be able to decode songs or decode music or files all the way up to 192 kilohertz at 1.2 megabytes per second. And that is big. You think that Bluetooth is going to compromise the sound? Well, not this device. This device ain't gonna compromise your sound at all. Now for the battery, this is just using a little small 320 milliampere battery, but it can do around 10.5 hours of playtime, and I can assure that on my own personal listening experience, I use this for commutes that usually last around give or take 5 to 6 hours, and it always comes down to like 40%, and I've never really had any problems with this not lasting the entire day. So awesome battery life. I love it. It's probably not gonna last me a flight if ever I go into a flight, but it does last me long enough for, you know, basic listening and just commuting. So that's all that matters to me. But maybe if you're spending 10 plus hours on a device, well, maybe it's not for you. But honestly, like, your ears are probably gonna be toast by then. So yeah, whatever, 10 hours, 10.5 hours is more than enough for most people. Now for the DAC chip, I've already mentioned, this is using the CS43131 chip. It's the same chip that comes with the HiBY Digital M300 and a bunch of other DACs or DAC amps that you can find in the market, and its integration is really nice. I'll talk about the sound quality in just a little bit. So for power, this has a total of 90 milliwatts of power, which is honestly not a lot, but you're not really running full-sized headphones on these. For all of the IEMs that I've tested, whether it be normal dynamic drivers, very sensitive ones, or all the way to hard-to-drive planar magnetics, IEMs obviously, this had zero problem powering it. Like, I had zero problem with like driving anything at the desired volume. Sound is a different thing, but again, I'll talk about that later. But for power, zero problems with the W32. Absolutely more than enough. Okay, so now let's talk about my honest personal experience with this. And I'm gonna be honest, this has genuinely become my daily source ever since I got this, especially during commutes. And I've told you guys about the battery life, and it's just absolutely fantastic. But just the fact that I can use whatever IEM that I want with this little device, dude, that's crazy. It's genuinely crazy, because I can listen to either the cheapest or the most expensive stuff in my collection, and I wouldn't really face any compromises in terms of sound wherever I go. And again, I've talked about the shirt clip. It's essential. It is unintuitively the most essential thing about like a DAC for me now, because if I can't clip it on my shirt or on my bag, it's just gonna be a very tedious thing to carry. And despite being an audiophile device, this is probably one of the most practical things I own, because of, well, it has mic support. So if I'm listening to music and I suddenly get a call, I don't have to like switch up to my like earphones or IEMs with a microphone on the cable. I can just use this thing, and I can just start speaking into this, and I have zero problems. No latency, no disconnections, clear audio. Absolutely amazing, and I absolutely love it. And you might think, well, you know, it's a Bluetooth device, you might compromise in the sound, and like I've said earlier, it has really fancy codecs, but what does it actually mean, right? So briefly talking about the sound, this has a somewhat neutral, slightly fuller in the mid-range type of sound. I will be honest, it's not the most hi-fi sounding device that you can find, but again, it's a Bluetooth device. It's not necessarily trying to just purely be hi-fi, but in the sea of Bluetooth devices, this sounds generally uncompromised. Honestly, listening to music on, say, my HiBY, or sorry, not my HiBY, but on my Yanyan Canon 2, which is a very well-extended IEM, this made it sound pretty darn good. Obviously, it's not going to sound as good as like expensive DACs, but as a $49 Bluetooth DAC, it sounds so good. It sounds better than plugging it into my phone or my old phone that had the headphone jack, Google, and it just honestly doesn't feel like I'm missing out on too much of the sound. Like, the smallest differences that I could notice is something that I won't be able to hear while I'm commuting anyways. So whatever IEM that I plug this on, it's not going to sound particularly any worse than it would be if I plugged it into my DAC or my DAPs. It's just like, it's genuinely an amazing little device that doesn't really compromise on sound all that much, especially for a Bluetooth device. So I really have no complaints about the sound of this. It's fantastic, and even the power delivery is more than enough for any IEM that I throw at it. So it's great. And again, Bluetooth device, you might say that it might have not that good of a connectivity. No, fantastic connectivity, amazing connectivity. It's running on LDAC or even the UAT, and I can get as far as 10 meters and have zero problems with connectivity. I had problems with aptX on my cheap KZ aptX cable, and this had zero problems at all. It is flawless connections and can even get further when I'm listening to it with the AAC or SPC connectivity or codecs. So like literally it's just such an uncompromising device to use overall. Now obviously I do have some personal gripes about it. It's not necessarily a game changer for me, it might be a game changer for you, but it's something that I want to point out. First and foremost, the front plastic is, well, plastic, so it's going to be scratching up. It's not going to look as pristine as it would as you bought it after, you know, maybe a few months of usage, throwing it around in your bag, scratching and stuff. Mine's still pretty pristine. I've been using it for a couple of weeks, maybe a few months already, and it's still pretty pristine, but I know for a fact that because of the plastic front, it's eventually going to get scratched up. That's one of my gripes. Also, the NFC feature doesn't feel particularly useful because you just connect it once and that's it. You don't really have to reconnect it all over again. I mean, it's a cool, neat little feature, but I don't really see much of the use for it personally. And obviously, balanced output, yada yada yada, more power, better sound, whatever. It's a Bluetooth device. I will still want to include it just because, you know, I still do want a little bit more power and a little bit more audiophile features into this. But honestly, like as it is, it's all right. It's nothing too serious, nothing too problematic in terms of its sound. Maybe a little bit more power, but that as at the cost of battery life. And I don't want to really bork the battery life of this. It's already really good as it is. I don't want it to go even shorter. So to conclude, the HiBY W32 is genuinely one of the best devices in terms of like practicality and audio convenience that I've ever owned. And normally, as an audio enthusiast, as an audiophile, you really want the best, most uncompromised listening experience. But sometimes you just want convenience. You just want to listen to music while you're commuting, while you're just chilling, going out for a walk, but you don't really want to deal with a bunch of like DAC cables and plugging it into your phone and dealing with all of that, and you just want something practical, but something that's also sounding good, you know, something that's not just, you know, your usual Bluetooth device or Bluetooth TWS, whatever. Well, dude, the W32 has just genuinely been my everyday carry, and it's never left my bag, or it's never left my chores doing as I'm doing around the house, just because of how practical this thing is. And for $49, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't get this. It is fantastic. I love this device so much, and I highly recommend it. So if you're looking for something like this, something convenient, but something uncompromised in terms of a Bluetooth device and something you can use basically any IM that doesn't use balanced output, well, the HiBY W32 is the device for you. And thank you so much for watching my video and my review for the HiBY W32. If you would like to buy one, consider using the non-affiliated link down below. And if you like this video, consider giving it a like. If you like my content, consider subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all of your support. So also consider liking my socials down below. Check out Audio Notions, join the Discord, join Forsaken Audiophiles. And with that, obodio out.